What is going on, everyone? My name is Andy. Welcome back to another FPL video. In this one, it's watch list time for Game Week 23. So we're going to talk through a bunch of players that are going on the watch list that we might look to bring in over the coming weeks. Good fixtures, good players, good price, all that good stuff as well. So if you do enjoy the video, give it a like and hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to check out Armada as well. There is a link in the description below. A PlayStation 5 up for grabs. It's completely free, no cash involved. I'll talk about that a little bit later. All right, let's talk about Coutinho. The FPL community are very excited about him for good reason. He's coming at a really good price, 7 million, maybe even too good. Maybe it makes it a little bit too easy to fit him into your teams. Obviously, didn't do himself any harm by coming off the bench and scoring a goal on his debut as well. The fixtures are decent. There's not really too much to dislike about him, okay? I've not watched him a huge amount since he left the Premier League, but I know how good he was when he played for Liverpool. And I can see from his expected goal involvement numbers that he's still been consistently good wherever he's played, right? Although he has only played kind of 12 matches in the league last year, 12 matches the year before that as well. But it looks of it, it's not since 2018-19 that he's played more than 30 games in a league season, right? So match fitness might be a little bit of a problem. Gerrard did say that before the Man United game, so we knew he was going to be benched. If you didn't bring him in, fair enough, right? Yes, he got a goal off the bench, but you don't want to buy players that aren't starting. But going forward, we'll have to monitor what Gerrard says about him, and the more minutes he plays, the more he's going to be up to speed and being able to play kind of more than one match in a row. My only, I guess, slight doubt is, will that be this week? And if Villa do get a double, which it's been speculated, but the longer it goes on without being announced, I do wonder whether it will even get put into Game Week 23. We'll have to wait and see. But will he play both those games, right? That's one thing that's kind of on my mind. But if he is match fit by kind of Game Week 24, that little period of 24 to 26, Leeds, Newcastle, Watford, is all pretty decent. The other thing that I find interesting is, and maybe I probably held this view as well, when you hear people talk about him, they always talk about this creative player, right? The little magician, or I think, yeah, little magician, I think. And he's very creative. And I'm not saying he can't be, but when you expected goal involvement is expected goals and expected assists combined. When you split those numbers down, his expected goals is always higher, which is actually a good thing, right? We want goals more than assists because they're worth more points. So he's got a little bit more of a goal threat than he maybe is a threat from being creative as well, which is a good thing, okay? We know how much he likes to cut in, take a shot from range, etc. He might be on some set pieces. We'll have to see how that works out with Lucas Digne as well. But overall, I really like him. My only doubt is match fitness. How quickly can he get up to speed? How quickly does Gerrard start him every single game? We're going to have to wait and see. He hasn't done that for a long time by the looks of it in the league. And obviously, what position is he going to play? It could be him and Buendia behind Watkins. It could actually be Danny Ings that misses out, but we'll have to see what happens moving forward. Right? He could play off the left. He could play more central. Only time is going to tell. But otherwise, looks like a good pick. I'm pretty excited. I don't know if I'm going to bring him in this week, but very soon I can see him coming into my team. So happy to say that for this video, I have partnered with Armada. If you haven't already checked it out, there is a link in the description below. It's a prediction-based app that's mostly focused around football, and it's a lot of fun to play with your mates. You can create leagues and stuff like that to play against each other to see who's the best knowledge is, and the best thing is there is absolutely no money involved whatsoever. So every single day, you're going to get 20 coins to make your predictions, right? So 23 coins, and then you can win in-game boosts and prizes as the week goes on, and the competitions run from Monday to Sunday, right? So I got 23 coins. So I'm looking at this thinking, okay, AC Milan, I'm going to put 5 coins on that. Bologna versus Napoli, I'm going to go for Napoli. I'm only going to put 3 on that one, right? So maybe I'm not quite so sure. Fiorentina versus Genoa, we're going to go Fiorentina, and I'm going to go for 7. And then you got Celtic versus Hibernian, so we're going to go for Celtic here. And I'm going to put the rest of my coins on there. So we've got 5 left. And that's it. You just hit confirm, and that is your predictions locked in, essentially. Now, for this week's competition, I'm going up against some other creators, the likes of London Movements, Danny Aarons. They might have more subscribers than me, but I don't think they know more about football, right? So if you want to join the league, the code is on screen. There'll be a link in the description below to download the app as well. OMDCL2. That's all you need to join up. So you go on squad, you click join at the top, and then it's literally just OMDCL2, and then you can join squad. You'll be in the Creators League. Now, first place for the week is going to get a PlayStation 5, and 3 random people that are in the league are going to get 12,000 FIFA points as well. So it's well worth signing up. So if you haven't already downloaded it, link in the description below. Go and give it a go now. Join the Creators League and see if you can get your hands on that PlayStation 5. Got to add De Bruyne to the watch list, right? He's been great ever since he came back against Leeds. Obviously got the 2 goals that week, and I'm just looking here. He's had 5 goals since then. and 1 assist as well. So 5 goals since that Leeds match, which is pretty decent, right? And he probably is the most nailed on Man City attacker. Maybe you could argue this season it's Bernardo Silva, but he's played every single game in the league since that Leeds game, and most of them have been 90 minutes as well. We know how good his numbers can be, and the fixtures is what's kind of like drawing me to put him on this list right now. Don't get me wrong, 12.1 million for a player without penalties is a little bit of a hard sell, and obviously you have to question whether you're even going to captain him as well. But with Salah not in the league at the moment, obviously African Cup of Nations, there is a chance to go a little bit different, and that Brentford at home game is pretty nice. Now, I don't necessarily have an obvious route to De Bruyne, but I do have a lot of money in the bank, and obviously Cristiano Ronaldo may or may not be a problem for me, so I might have to move funds and shift it around a little bit. If you've got Fernandes, I think that's a little bit tougher. Like in some ways, if Salah's back for game week 24 and you've got Fernandes and that is your route back to Salah, then doing Fernandes to De Bruyne for 1 week just to then sell him to Salah doesn't seem like a great move. But if Salah's not going to be back till game week 25 or something, you could go for it and maybe even captain De Bruyne against Brentford at home. Like I'm looking at the fixtures in 24. Man United got Burnley away, Palace Norwich at home, Norwich away, sorry. Spurs Southampton at home. Has anyone got Harry Kane, Will Son be back, etc. So if Salah's not back for 24, De Bruyne might be one of the standout captain options next week. So he might be worth a bit of a punt. And then in 25, when Salah would have, if he's back, he would have Burnley away. I mean, captaining De Bruyne against Norwich wouldn't even be that bad either, right? I mean, going against Salah is tough, I get it. We don't know what condition he's going to come back in. We don't know if he's going to play 90 minutes week in, week out straight away. You assume he probably will. And I'm not trying to say we shouldn't be looking to bring Salah back, because we definitely will, or should be. But De Bruyne could be a nice little differential in the meantime. So it's just those 3 games. I think afterwards, you definitely go back to Salah. If you've got the money to go for both, because some people have been going with like Salah and Ronaldo for the last few weeks, like obviously when Salah was around. So maybe there's enough money to go around, especially if you shift to a 5-man midfield. But I do like the look of him. I just don't know for my own team if I'm able to get him in easily. But he just looks great right now. He's in really good form. He's playing well. His numbers are always good. They were all good last season, season before that, etc. There's just not too much to dislike about him. Those 3 fixtures at a time when people may have money to spend and there's no Salah around to worry about, could be a decent time to bring him in. I think one thing that's happened over the last few weeks is there has been a little bit of divergence from the template, right? Not massively necessarily, but a few subtle changes. So like last week, some people would have gone Son straight to Fernandes. Some would have taken a hit to get Ronaldo in. I went for Trossard. Some people would have gone for Raphinha and just gone for single game week players. Some people have ignored the doubles that don't have any Everton players. Some of us went for Everton players and they've been awful. There has been a few subtle differences in our teams. And I think this watch list so far with Coutinho and De Bruyne and now Lucas Digne kind of shows that there is maybe a little bit of a shift towards different players. And we know that Villa's fixtures are good. So Everton away, then that Leeds, Newcastle, Watford, and even Brighton and Southampton are not that bad for a defender like Lucas Digne. The fact that he came straight into the left-back spot and Matt Targett dropped out, that's a pretty good sign. You'd now hope that he would start the majority of games. We know how attacking he can be. He could be on some set pieces as well. And a lot of the talk when Gerrard came in to manage Villa was that he would make them more defensive, like a better, not necessarily like to the point where they don't attack, of course, but a more solid defensive unit, which I think he has done. And he uses his fullbacks a lot. So having Cash and Lucas Digne, knowing how good in attack Lucas Digne can be, that could be a real threat for Villa now, right? I'm not saying he's necessarily the best defender. I think that there's that one tackle that stood out where I don't even know what he was doing. He gave away a free kick on the edge of the box from the right-hand side. But overall, he had a really good debut game, and I just think he's going to start the majority of games. So for a lot of us, like for me, for example, I've got Alonso, probably have to deal with him soon. There might be space for Lucas Digne. It really does come down. Like if you're playing like a 3-4-2 or a 3-4-3 most weeks, maybe some people are still playing 4 at the back. Who is that kind of 3rd/4th defender? Because most people have got Trent, most people have got Cancelo, and a lot of people have got Chelsea defenders. But if Chelsea are going now, no one really wants Man United defenders right now. Maybe Reguilon still has a part to play in our thinking, but he's got Chelsea this week anyway, so it's not even that great of a fixture. Maybe Tierney for Arsenal, but they got a bunch of blank game weeks coming up. There's just not too many other defenders right now, and I think Lucas Digne is probably right up there in terms of decent picks right now. So he's going straight on the watch list. I really do like the look of these Villa fixtures. Obviously, this isn't this is taking into account that there might be a double game week this week for Villa, and obviously then their players come really good, and obviously Watkins would definitely be on that list as well. But I think regardless of whether that happens, they could still be brought in this week. So I'm definitely keeping an eye on Lucas Digne. Again, it might not necessarily be this week, but in the coming weeks, I'm definitely looking at possibly bringing him in. Definitely, possibly. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense, does it? I had to have Raphinha in this video. I feel like he's constantly in my thoughts, but I'm just never bringing him in. Like, he's probably one of my regrets so far this season. Like, of all the players I have or haven't brought in, like, again, taking him out against Norwich, I'm not going to go into that in massive detail, but obviously that wasn't great. He continued to do really well. And then this week, instead of going for Raphinha, who I thought, okay, he could do something against West Ham, and he was brilliant, by the way. He even hit the post from a free kick as well, close to other attack and returns. Really good game. And then I thought, well, he's got Newcastle next week as well. So Trossard's got Chelsea. Do I really go for him? And I just got sucked in by the double game week. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing, because Trossard could have scored as well. Had a pretty good chance. And there's nothing to say he won't get something against Chelsea. So I think a lot of people use outcome bias when they talk about double game week players. We got sucked in, etc. But sometimes you have to buy a ticket to the lottery to win it, right? So in fact, you always have to buy. If you didn't have a ticket, you wouldn't be able to win it, right? But anyway, that's a side note. Raphinha, I think, has to come in for me soon. I would say that the fixtures are not necessarily out of this world great for Leeds, right? Newcastle at home is great. Villa away, Everton away. Obviously, Everton will have a new manager. The talk is it's going to be Roberto Martinez. Who knows if he will or won't come in? He might even be in place by the time this video goes out. I don't know if he's going to suddenly make them better defensively. And then obviously Man United, Spurs and Leicester are not necessarily ideal. But Man United and Leicester have not necessarily been keeping lots of clean sheets this year. And obviously we know Raphinha is absolutely nailed. We know he's playing for 90 minutes every week. He's on penalties until Bamford gets back. Who knows? Who knows? When Bamford's back, could Raphinha keep penalties? It is a possibility, right? So I do think he's a good option. I think if I'm looking between him and Coutinho, for example, and let's say there's a strategy where you're going to bring in both of them, although for myself, I've got to consider how the hell I'm getting Salah back as well. You probably go for Raphinha first this week, right? Newcastle at home, no worries about minutes concerns, better fixture than I think Everton away is what Villa have got. So you probably go for Raphinha first and then get Coutinho in. But who knows? We'll have to see how the fixtures fall. And also, I think we have to remember, again, without the postponements and double game weeks, right? A lot of us have been running with pretty good overall squads. So even if you got to like Man United, Spurs, Leicester, and there was a game week, where you had a really good squad of players and they all had better fixtures than Raphinha, you could always bench him, right? You don't have to get rid of him for the long term. So unless you're me and you're an idiot earlier on in the season. So I do think right now, with no fixture talk and stuff like that, he'd probably be my transfer in. But it's only Monday. Things can change quickly. So there we go. Let me know what you think of this list of players in the comments below. Also, do not forget to check out Armada. Like I said, it's completely free. There's no money involved, but there are prizes up for grabs. PlayStation 5 and FIFA points as well. So link in the description below. Make sure you click that. Get the app downloaded. Make your predictions. And just get on with it, right? It's completely free. You've got nothing to lose. And obviously, if you did enjoy this video, like and subscribe. Always appreciated. Otherwise, I'll be back tomorrow with a transfer tips video. Yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you soon.